Hello and welcome to today's episode of Two Pigs in the Pod, a podcast for the people of Glazing by the people of Glazing. I'm your host George, and today's guest is the reason Pigs is heading to Belfast this week, but more about that later. It's Matt Thomas. Welcome to Two Pigs in the Pod, Matt.
Thanks, George. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. How are you? How you doing?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, just busy, but no, all good and can't complain. What about yourself?
All good, yeah, all good. Looking forward to Pigs and looking forward to a busy week. Perfect. Well, we'll crack straight on with the first question. We always take people right back to the start, and how did you get into the wonderful world of glazing?
I sort of fell into it, to be honest.
It's
I,
always it's
like,
always the answer.
yeah, like most people, I obviously heard about it from a young age, being in the car with my dad,
Yeah.
listening to the phone calls on hands free, telling people to watch their language. Yeah, so it wasn't my original plan. I was actually wanting to be a barrister,
Okay.
and I was on track to do that. And then things happened in my life, and then I ended up working over at Haffner, started. Refurbing second-hand machines, which we no longer do. So with the ice blasting, painting second-hand machines, and going that way, and yeah, that's how I fell into it really.
Nice.
And now I wouldn't change it.
What was your thoughts about the industry? Obviously, hearing the conversations with your dad, like, what did you think the industry was?
To be honest, I didn't really understand it, even though you hear the conversations.
Yeah.
My my dad actually said something very early on when I was looking to maybe fall into it.
Yeah.
He said every house needs windows and doors, so there's always going to be demand.
Yeah.
He said so if you work hard, then obviously there's opportunity there, and that's probably stuck with me actually, and that probably raised quite a point at the time.
Nice. And when you said you ended up falling into the industry, what was your dad's feelings towards it? Was he happy to have you on board, or was it a case of like, okay, this is going to be interesting?
Um, you'd have to ask him, but I think probably up until the age of probably 2021, he probably wasn't that happy. And then 2021, I sort of knuckled down, and it's like a switch almost flicked on and knuckled down from there. But yeah, I suppose that's growing up and what you go through. But you'd have to ask him.
Nice. And what was your first role at Hafner when you ended up in the industry and working for Hafner? What was you doing first off?
Like I said, I was just refurbishing second-hand machines in the warehouse. We no longer do second-hand, but
Yeah.
we refurbing them, and then I went on to sales at about 19, I think. So I'd
Okay.
started just after 16, about 17. I can't remember. It seems an age ago. But then yeah, went on to sales. Was absolutely useless for a couple of years. I think yeah, it was just wasn't very good. Didn't
Yeah.
get it, and then something just clicked and changed. And then yeah, it's went in sales, and then obviously now I'm MD, so it's gone right the way through.
Nice. And what do you think you learned even in the bad times? Like you say, you didn't really get sales or get, not everyone is. I'm the same. Not born to do sales. I think there's certain people that that are really good at it. But what did you learn during those sort of first initial roles within the business?
So yeah, especially on the sales side, it's probably perseverance. You get a lot of knockbacks, and it's it's always the way. You might think, you're having a great day, then you lose one, but you have to just keep going again, and sort of pick yourself up if you can't really get too high or get too low, which is a bit of a cliche, but yeah, it's perseverance and just keep going, and hope and back yourself that it will come through.
Nice. And this might be a bit of a loaded question, but who are your biggest influences? I'm sure you're going to say about your dad, but was there anyone else in the business at the time when you first started that you really sort of got on with and helped you sort of learn the ropes as such?
Yeah, obviously my dad's been a big influence, but Brian Dando actually joined the business, which was a big coup for us at the time,
Yeah.
in 2019. So I've sort of grown up through my sales with Brian as well, and Brian's
Nice.
obviously done it for 20 odd years. Even though he probably tells everyone he's still 40, he isn't. But Brian's mentored me. We spend a lot of time together as well.
Yeah,
We obviously go to events together. We stay out together and go for meals, and we have a lot of time. We get on as well, and we speak probably every single day.
nice.
And yeah, Brian's been there for me and taught me a lot as well.
Yeah, nice. And how has your role evolved? Like you said, you've gone from sales to MD. That's a big jump for some. How has that role evolved in what you're doing to where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, I've been MD for 4 years now. I think it's 2022. But the last 18 months, 2 years especially. Obviously, my old man's still there to lean on, but he's doesn't really work much in the business. It's as and when he wants to. He likes to keep himself busy, but yeah, obviously there's a lot more responsibility. You've got in essence mouths to feed, and that's the way I really look at it. You want to run a good, sustainable business to keep people in work and provide them with opportunities as well. And there's a lot of pressure that comes with that, but I think keeping that mantra is quite good and keeps you where you are.
Nice. And has there been any sort of key moments, like you said, you started probably during COVID, or just before COVID, but like you've gone through COVID and things like that. Have there any been any key moments along those times you've really been able to step back and go, yeah, we done pretty well there.
Yeah, COVID. Yeah, it's like the words you shouldn't say, isn't it? But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, COVID was strange because we actually, I never forget, we did our forecast with the bank, and no one knew what was going to happen, did they? And we did our forecast as if we weren't going to sell another machine that year, and that was in March, which is obviously quite worrying. And
Yeah.
then obviously the industry took off, thankfully,
Yeah.
and everything went well. But yeah, I mean, when we took the largest ever stand at the Fit Show, we
Yeah.
sort of stepped back and went, "Phew, yeah,
We're we're
almost
doing
like
all
we've
right.
arrived." And obviously, with the G Award, becoming the first machinery company to win a G Award was a special moment. We sort of, I'll never forget, me and my dad had a quiet moment with a pint of Guinness and just sort of
Nice.
sat down and took a breath afterwards. And yeah, that
Yeah.
was a nice moment. And seeing where we are now with the team and our offices and how we're set up for growth for the future is quite nice.
Nice. And speaking about that growth, is there anything you're allowed to tell us that you're looking towards for the future?
We have some new products coming out, which we always do, and but we've actually done two sizable investments in software,
Yeah.
which should have been ready now, but we've decided to delay it just a bit. It's nearly there,
Okay.
which will help the customer experience and from a project manager experience, which will be good when it comes out. I don't think anyone else is doing it. I may be wrong on that, but we designed a bespoke system for both of
Nice.
them, which is coming on board. And then yeah, we're always looking at not necessarily trends, but also trying to create them,
Yeah. Okay.
and create that market sometimes for it. But yeah, there's some good ideas in the pipeline, and but these things take in machinery. These can take 2, 3 years before
Yeah.
you even come through with that. But yeah, lots of exciting stuff going on.
Nice. And when you say, you took over as MD, you said 4 years ago, like was there ambitions to be once you got your feet under the table and learnt about the business, learnt about the industry? Was that always the plan? Eventually, maybe not as quick as it happened, but was that always the plan?
Yeah, I would say so. Once I started getting my feet under the table,
Yeah.
you obviously see the opportunities, and it's to be fair to I'm going to call him Dave because I always call him Dave, but my dad.
Yeah.
um, he sort of pushed me that way as well, and he's nurtured me. He's allowed me to make mistakes,
Nice.
which I think is so crucial because
Yeah.
it's the only way you learn, isn't it? But yeah, I think it was always going that way, and yeah, I wouldn't change it now. I really enjoy my role, and I look forward to it.
Nice. And like you say, with Dave, like speaking from a son and a dad point of view, how's it been to work with your dad? Not everyone gets to work and be successful with your dad. How's it been?
To be honest, we're best friends. We have
Nice.
we have a great relationship. We you have disagreements, but we talk them through. We usually end up with the same idea, but he might
Yeah.
go that way and I'll go that way. So
Yeah.
it's and usually we work it through, and 10 minutes later we go, yeah, well, we're both saying the same thing. But yeah, it's been good. We like I said, we have a great relationship, and quite often we will take ourselves away from the office to talk things through if we have to. So you're not in that environment. But yeah, it's been fine, and I know not everyone's that lucky to have that relationship, but I'm very fortunate.
Yeah, and as you mentioned about Brian, but has there been any other relationships that you've built up with people? Like people say on this podcast all the time that kind of obviously you're at work more than you're at home. Does it kind of feel like it is a family business, but a wider family, even if it's not directly part of the Thomas family?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a bit cliche, but I do think of them all as family. There's a lot of people who've been here a lot longer than me, and I think that shows loyalty. I mean, our finance director's been here nearly 20 years, so she's seen it all. Mark Norton in service has been over 20 years, I think. Ken and Dave Cousins, Semi, Mike, a lot of people have done a lot of years. So it's you sort of get used to each other and the way you work, and it's almost like second nature. But no, there's been quite a few people that have played a big part in that.
Yeah, nice. And do you feel that's important for going forward? Obviously, there's a lot of people there with a lot of years in the industry. We talk about as sort of the people that have not been in it as long, or the younger sort of generations that you're looking at with a fresh impetus in looking to get new people to build it up now, so they are getting those 20-25 years, like you said, in the future.
Yeah, there is. I mean, I'll actually cite a few that I get on with really well. I mean, there's Ryan Lugg over at Flair, who's a similar age to me. We do quite a bit of business together, but and he's also a West Brom fan, which helps. But no, he's similar age to me, and he's running a much bigger business, and we've sort of grown up together in that. And he deals with a lot more staff, and he's got a lot more people, and we sort of work together quite closely on that. And then there's Ricky at Birmingham Door Panels, who's a bit older, early 30s. So there is new blood coming through, and I think we naturally we're a different just generation, aren't we? So we naturally have different visions, whether it be technology or whatever. Look at things differently, and that's quite exciting and should be embraced, in my opinion.
Yeah, nice. And speaking of those, excite. But has there been any challenges that you've had to overcome as an MD? We obviously we're speaking at the moment, and the industry is tough for some. Like, has there been challenges both internally and externally? Obviously, machinery is a massive investment for any company within our industry. So yeah, what kind of challenges have you had and overcome?
Yeah, I mean, you always get challenges every day. There'll be a problem, but long term, yes, you get volatility obviously in the markets, but I think we're pretty well set up in the fact that we can go from a small producer right up to big producers. And we also have the high end products as well. So we try and cover all bases. We work with three main suppliers that are good suppliers, and they're good for us. But yeah, there's challenges every day. Obviously, like you say, it's tough at the moment, really tough for a lot of people. But then we see massive growth on the graft side because it's a high-end product. And people who are buying those sorts of windows aren't as affected. So it's almost like, and one of my customers actually said, this is probably recession proof. If that happens, then that's where we are. But yeah, it's tough every day, and you have to roll with the punches and roll your sleeves up and get on with it.
Nice. And that leads me on quite nicely to your leadership style. What is your kind of leadership style as MD and owner now? Is it quite, yeah, sort of roll up your sleeves and get, because you started off fixing the machines, and now from sales to you've got quite a good array of roles in quite a quick time in the business. Yeah, what is your kind of leadership style and has it evolved?
I would say my leadership style is you employ people to do a job,
Yeah.
and as long as you give them the tools to do that, just let people get on with it. We don't mind as long as the work's done, and people are happy. They're not pushed and pushed and pushed. We don't micromanage, and I would hate that
Yeah,
personally if someone did that to me. We
yeah,
let people get on with their roles. We try and support them if they need the support, and yeah, it's quite a relaxed environment as much as it can be. Obviously, sometimes you're under pressure quite
yeah.
heavily, but we try and let people enjoy themselves as well if they can.
Nice. And how has the industry changed for you over the years? Like like myself, haven't been in it like the 20 25 years like that you spoke about with some of your colleagues. But do you feel it's changed over even in the years that you've been in it?
Yeah, I would say it's got a lot more automated from a machinery point of view, and a lot of complications, but I think that comes with customer choice and everything that they have. So we have to adapt to that as well. But um, I would say it's getting a lot more professional, even over the last 10 years, paperwork, etc., everything is signed off, which it can only be a good thing because that'll become the standard that everyone has to do. But yeah, I would say it's got a lot more professional.
Nice. And lastly, to before we move on to talk about Belfast, yeah, what would you say to someone's just starting out in the industry, like you were and like I were? Would you recommend this industry after being in it for a while? And yeah, and what advice would you give to someone just starting out?
I would recommend the industry. Yeah, I think it probably gets looked down on quite a lot, but as you see, a lot of people once they're in it, they don't really leave.
Yeah,
There's probably not a stat out there, but it would probably be quite interesting
yeah, yeah.
to
No, you'll
see
be right.
that. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunity. I don't think it goes hand in hand with that. I don't think until people are in it, they realise the opportunity in it, whether it be machinery, profile, hardware, social media. AI is coming
Yeah,
into it. There's all of that in our industry
something
that
for
people don't
everyone.
realize. Yeah, and it's just just make plastic or aluminium windows
Yeah.
or doors. There's so much more than that, and it is an exciting industry, and there's lots to be done in it.
Nice. And yeah, like I said, moving on to Belfast and pigs this week, you're the reason for us to be heading to after your star in the sty last year. So yeah, what was your kind of reason for choosing it? It's yeah, what made you pick Belfast as a good city to potentially have a pigs and now are having a pigs there?
Yeah, I mean, I like Belfast. It's probably one of my favorite cities. I mean, always 50 minutes on a flight for me.
Yeah, yeah,
We do quite a lot of business over there. We have Chris Curran who lives just outside Belfast. But he covers all of Ireland and Scotland for us. But Belfast is just it's a good city. It's a good
yeah.
place. The Guinness is good, which always always helps.
Always
But
helps.
no, it's a nice place, friendly place. The people are good as well. And yeah, it's logical next step for pigs, in my opinion.
Nice, yeah, we're very much looking forward to it. But have you got any sort of hidden gems or places to go for people that might be staying like myself that are staying out there for the weekend? Is there any good pubs, good Guinness anywhere that you'd recommend?
If you've not been before, then the Duke of York is a good old pub down in the cathedral. You got the Harp, which is live music later on. Obviously, lots of live music, but it's sort of a jazz type thing, although
Okay,
it plays Irish music. So it's nice just down the street from the Harp. The best Guinness, in my opinion, is in the Garrick. And
okay,
speaking to a former customer he actually used to be MD of Diageo. He said when they did the blind taste test, the Garrick used to always come top.
nice,
So I would recommend the Garrick for a pint as well. And then
perfect.
you have to end the night in the Fibber McGee's. You go through Robinson's, open the double doors, bang, there you go, with the live
Nice.
music.
Well, yeah, I'll be writing those down at the end, and yeah, definitely spending a good drink in there in trying to get in everyone before I head back for sure. And lastly, to just speak about pigs in general, obviously you're with us quite regularly. What makes pigs good in your opinion? It's not the same for everyone, and people get out of it as different things. But what's good about pigs from your point?
I think it's the relaxed environment that it creates for so many people to get together. It's away from a corporate sort of setting. It's
Yeah,
everyone's. everyone just goes in what they're comfortable in, and you can have a drink or not have a drink, and just you make conversation with people that you might not necessarily know or usually
Yeah,
speak to, and you find stuff out, and you can get quite a bit from that as well. But yeah, it's good for the industry to get together, talk about problems, things they're doing, all that sort of stuff in a relaxed environment. So I think it's vital, really.
perfect. Well, thanks very much, Matt. For that's the main part of the podcast done. So you can rest easy for a second while we move on to our this or that round. So it's just very easy stuff, very easy questions. If you've watched the previous episodes, yeah, I'll just ask you a question and this or that.
Okay,
So the first one is: do you prefer being in the office or out on the road?
out on the road,
Nice. Are you more of an innovation kind of guy or a bit of a tradition or somewhere in the middle?
somewhere in the middle,
No. Are you an early starter or a late finisher?
early starter.
Are you a bit of a routine person or you like a bit of variety in your life?
Oh, probably somewhere in the middle.
Nice. Are you a risk taker or a risk manager?
Risk taker,
No. Are you a listener or are you a talker?
listener.
Do you prefer being hands on or stepping back sometimes?
Stepping back sometimes.
Yeah. Are you staying in or a going out person? Which is quite apt for Belfast.
Going out.
Are you a plan everything kind of person, or you sometimes you wanna go with the flow and yeah, see what happens?
Both. It depends what mood I'm in. Both.
Yeah, yeah,
It depends what
yeah.
it is.
Nice. And lastly, are you a live sport or a live music person?
Live sport.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks very much, Matt, for the last part of our podcast. As usual, we like to get guests to give a shout out. It can be people in the industry, out the industry, friends, family, you name it. So yeah, who are your shout out or shout outs for?
I would shout out my dad, but I think he's been mentioned quite a few times.
Yeah,
And
don't need to
Brian,
mention him again.
no, I'd like to shout out the whole team at Haffner. Really, they play a wonderful role every day, and their hard work is very much appreciated. And we wouldn't be where we are without them. So I'd like to shout all of them out.
Perfect. Well, thanks very much for joining us on Two Pigs in the Pod, Matt. Yeah, it's been great to get you on and hear about your career, which is very interesting. I think career for people. People obviously know you. I know you're quite a well known guy in the industry, but yeah, to get you on and hear about how it's started and where you're going.
Thank you very much for having me on, George. Much appreciated.
Well, you can find this episode and all previous ones on our website, www.peopleinglazing.co.uk, on our YouTube channel at People in Glazing Society, and also available to download on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. And whilst you're there, please don't forget to like and subscribe to make sure you never miss an episode. So, once again, thanks to Matt for joining us and for everyone to listening, and see you for another episode soon.